Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Thanks so much for joining us. It's going to be a good one because we'll be speaking about sessions plus AppSumo success stories. So big welcome to all our guest speakers today. Thank you so much for joining us. And also I've got Sovian with me today from the sessions community. So yeah, first, few house rules. The session will be recorded. And also I know all of you know this already, but in the bottom right corner, you have chat. So feel free to have discussions in there. And also you'll see Q&A. So if you have questions, you can ask in the Q&A. I think for today, let's focus our questions on our speakers because we'll very soon have a sessions town hall where we can ask all app questions. All right. Oh, and in the chat, you'll also see some useful little gifts that Danny from Team Sessions is posting for us. Thanks, Danny. So first, a little icebreaker. Some of you might see a message that you need to log in or join or something, so just click on that. But you can interact with what is on screen at the moment. And please tell us, what do you not like about sessions? So type directly on screen and send your answers. And we'll give a minute or two for this. File sharing simultaneously. No desktop app yet, that's coming. Video conferencing, not on mobile yet. Some issues, haven't tried it yet. Someone loves the UI, thank you. The inconsistent audio and video performance. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your feedback because that helps us get better. So it's really important. I'll give it another few seconds before we move on. Okay, it looks like everyone has spoken. The crowd has spoken. So I think let's move on to something positive and exciting. So over to you, Sovian.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everybody, and thank you for showing up in such a great number today. I'm literally honored by your presence. Thank you, Jared and Katie, for being so helpful and willing to share. And thank you, Praful and Jorge, for doing this with us today. Before we start, let me just say a few words on how AppSumo influenced sessions and how Sumo-lings enriched our journey. Since day one, we knew that only product and community-led growth combined would propel us forward. And the AppSumo launch exponentially expanded our horizons. For us, sessions community is the cornerstone of the business. And today, community powers our growth and is the essential element, if you want, in our endeavor. So we develop only based on your feedback. This is actually customer development one-on-one. And the AppSumo launch helped us to bring a lot of people inside. Most of you, I think, discovered sessions via AppSumo and showed us what is true, what is meaningful and valuable. So we listened and took action. Even though there are still some glitches in the product and issues may appear, bugs may occur, I'm sure that we'll make it together. We are now in the best situation ever, and AppSumo has a major impact on our becoming. Hence, we are forever grateful to you, to Noah for starting AppSumo, to Jared, to Katie, to all the Sumo-lings. And I just want to say one more thing. Please allow me to introduce something that is very close to our hearts. So, yeah, this is our referral and affiliate program. We will have it live soon. But for now, click on it and let us know if you are interested. And when the programs will be live, we'll offer you all the details and we'll follow up on this subject. For now, just take a look and see if it's something that you want to participate in. And once again, my friends, thank you so much for being here with us today. Now, Jared, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Avian. Can you guys hear me? Check, check.
Yeah,
All right, perfect. I
all
was having
good.
mic issues earlier. All right. Thanks, Avian. Again, my name is Jarrett Flieger. I am a business development manager here over at AppSumo. I've been here for a little over 4 years now. And I did have the pleasure of working directly with Sessions on several campaigns so far. So just wanted to start off by thanking the Sessions team for having me back on another webinar. Had the pleasure of jumping on a webinar a few months ago with them, which was more catered towards like people that were thinking about launching their own tools on AppSumo. So it was more catered towards like the AppSumo partner and best practices. But for this webinar, we're focused on you, the customer, right? And specifically the plus member who are like the VIP AppSumo customers, right? So I know a lot of you have probably already purchased Sessions before. And for you guys, we'll be showing you how to get the most out of your purchase, showing some like real world examples of like actual AppSumo customers that are currently using it in their business, and then maybe teasing some exciting things to look forward to in the future. And then for those that haven't purchased yet, I guess my first question is, what are you guys waiting for? And then the second thing is, you're in luck because Sessions is back right now for a limited time for last call, which ends this Friday. And it's only for plus members. So you can either upgrade your tier if you've previously purchased, or if you haven't purchased yet, you have about a day left to pull the trigger. So before we jump into the festivities here, I wanted to give a little bit of a backstory on how Sessions came to AppSumo. I touched on this a little bit in the last webinar, but it's a really interesting journey basically that we took together. So back in 2021 was the first time that I had a conversation with the Sessions team, and they were still pretty early stage, pre-revenue, but I did like what I saw. I saw a lot of potential in the tool. It was obviously a Zoom alternative, right? Any like big name, like household name tool that we can potentially bring an alternative to AppSumo is going to have a lot of potential for success for people to like save money on their tech stack. And we ended up talking about the campaign, all the details, expectations, roadmap features, kind of what their timeline looked like. And it took about 3 weeks to a month, but we were able to finalize an offer that we're pretty confident on. And we held off on locking in an actual launch date because there were still some things that the team was working on. We wanted some certain features to be ready. We wanted the tool to be stress tested, bugs to be worked out before we brought it to the AppSumo community, because they already kind of knew, like, when you bring something to AppSumo, like, be prepared for feedback and be prepared for criticism. So they wanted to be in a good spot and confident that the tool would hold up to that critique. So fast forward to May 2023, right? A couple years later, after a ton of follow-up emails, check-ins, product development, testing, more product development, more features being released, more debugging, more testing. I was honestly starting to lose hope just because it seemed like we would never actually make it on AppSumo. But luckily in May 2023, the Sessions team, we got back in touch. They were finally in a good spot. They felt like they were prepared. They were ready to go. And part of me was getting impatient up to then, but I knew that we had a lot of potential on the platform, and I knew the Sumo-lings were going to really love it. So I wanted to make sure that we weren't rushing things. And I knew that if we were waiting, like, it was going to be worth it. So basically the rest is history. We went on to become one of the top 5 launches of all time. When we launched this past year, it was the top 2 launch of 2023. And then we were lucky enough to get them back for last call during this 4-day long flash sale for plus members, and to bring you guys this webinar to share some best practices, some knowledge, some value to give to the plus members on this exclusive webinar. So to have a record-setting campaign like this, it really does come down to the product and the deal. That's probably the most important thing. AppSumo can push, market, promote as much as we possibly can, but if the tool isn't great, if the feature set isn't great, if the deal is confusing or not that generous, if it's hard to tell if it's a good deal or not, the launch is going to struggle no matter what we do. So Sessions had a great product, and we put together what we felt was a really generous offer and would get the community excited. And we saw that they had gotten some traction on Product Hunt from a few, Product Hunt launches, generated some buzz in some online communities, some Facebook groups and whatnot. So we were pretty confident coming in that the Sumo-lings were going to love it. And, we started off using standard promotional channels for AppSumo Select. So, the email blasts, we were running some ads on Sessions, some affiliates started picking up Sessions and started promoting the deal. And they were getting some good traction and organic traffic, just finding them from the marketplace, just browsing around on AppSumo. And, all this marketing, the emails, the ads, all that, it's pretty standard for, every Select campaign launching on AppSumo. But after like literally the first couple of days, maybe even like the first few hours, like we saw this one was going to be different. Like we saw the conversion rate was high. The licenses, codes were flying off the shelf. So we knew it was, in store for some big things. And when a campaign does overperform like that and even exceeds our expectations, we love it. Obviously high numbers, but also it allows us to get creative with marketing, right? We have more marketing budget to push the campaign, try some creative things. So, that did contribute a bit to like the stellar success of the tool, but it really comes back to the team, like how transparent, how interactive they were with the community, and then the product itself, what they had built over the last few years. So all that being said, I'm not here to, sell you on Sessions. I know a lot of you guys already purchased it and you're just looking for, some knowledge and some value from, some of these real life customers and from the Sessions team. So I'll shut up now. I want to hand it off to the Sessions team, and actually to Profil first, to show how he's currently using Sessions in his real estate business, which is super cool. And the last thing I'll say is it kind of gives me the vibe Sessions does of like some of those tools that people still talk about from like 10 plus years ago, where, people are reminiscing like, oh man, I'm so glad I max stacked that one. Or on the other hand, oh man, I'm kicking myself that I missed out on that one. So it's kind of giving me these types of vibes where like 5-10 years from now, people are going to be talking about Sessions in the same way, like, oh man, can you believe I got, the max tier of Sessions back in the day. So it's really, throwing off that kind of feel. And definitely, if you haven't purchased it yet, I don't know if they're ever going to be back after last call. I hope they are, but nothing's set in stone, nothing's guaranteed. So definitely don't miss out on this one. And that's all I got. Off to Profil to show how he's currently using it in his real estate biz.
Hey, Praful, please unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now? I guess pretty sure I can see my mic flickering. So, yeah, uh, I am actually really impressed. I'm in real estate. Just my brief introduction. I'm in Eastern Massachusetts. I'm near Boston, and by default, I used to have the Google Meet and sometimes Zoom, because Zoom allows me 40 minutes of a free session and all. But what I realized is that I wanted some kind of a permanent solution. So as soon as Sessions came on board, I mean, when it came, I think I bought it immediately and I just full stacked it. I said, okay, this is what I wanted and this is what I would love to use it. And more, I just check it. I said that, okay, this is the ultimate solution for my requirement. And hey, it's a lifetime deal. So you can't say no to this. And specifically, like, I know, I don't know if Jared didn't mention about a few things which I would like to say, that I am a little addict about buying products from AppSumo. I must have bought more than 100 products over the last 6-7 years, mainly in last 3 years. And I would rate Sessions as one of the best product for a very simple reason that it does have the lifetime utility. Sometimes I buy some product and then technology just advances and then you think that, oh, okay, like for example, removing the background used to be a pretty good thing. Recording the screen used to be a good thing, but now we are moving so fast. And as far as I know, and based on what I see, sessions are team at the sessions doing, it's just it's just unbelievable. In fact, yesterday I was trying to make a. In fact, for a week now, I was trying to make a slideshow for sessions, and I said, you know, that slideshow might go into 40 slides, and perhaps I don't have enough time. So I decided that I'm just going to talk. Uh, So the way I use sessions for my buyers and sellers, obviously that you'll be interested in. That how do I do that? Let me see. Okay, I can share my screen if I can. Uh, so you can see my screen, I guess. All right, because I'm on sessions and sharing the session screen, so it might be a little confusing, but okay, I am sharing my screen as far as I know. Uh, the best part is, this is what I love about it. I have created several rooms. Okay, am I not in it? Something is wrong somewhere. Hmm, this is not my account. Well, it is actually. So why is it? Mm-mm. Okay, so it seems it's showing all this things. Why it should be so? I have certain rooms. Uh, hmm. How do I get rid of this? Any idea? Just anyway, I I didn't expect this to happen.
Are you in the right workspace, Praful?
All right. So I usually use actually I'm in the okay. This is the one which I'm supposed to be joining, and these are the rooms. And I don't know why I'm seeing this. Uh,
Do you have more than one workspace, Praful? It might be that.
okay. Anyway, I think I'll just yeah. This shouldn't happen because usually what I wanted to show was
Maybe you can
doesn't
go
matter. I'm
and
just
click
going
on
to
the lower left hand side of the screen to change the workspace. Maybe that's the
maybe yeah.
case.
Okay. All right. So basically, all right. So that was the reason. And in fact, uh, well, that basically accidental, but it happened, which is good. So I have a different kind of a client, and basically I have a workspace for each of them. So that basically it was the one which was showing was my other workspace. I work with different kind of buyer. For each of them, I should have a different workspace. Now, these are all the rooms I have created for different type of requirements. The most important part for this one is I can basically create the document for each of them. Now, whenever I used to use sessions, I would basically share some of my Google Drive and all. So now here I can basically upload all my documents related to that particular session, and then that's accessible by all this uh, people who are going to join me in the session. So you can see here, there's one for the first time home buyers. This is my crazy, lot of programming stuff. This is when I reach at that level where I have to discuss the details of the offer. By default, in fact, I tell, I always record the session. The advantage, I don't know if you know about real estate industry, but there are so many lawsuits going on. And one of them is related to the fact that we don't discuss our compensation. So having these sessions recorded definitely protects me, saying that I
Full,
did
but
discuss about it.
please reshare the screen because people are not seeing what you are talking about.
Okay. Okay, can you see it now? Yeah. All right. So basically, you can see over here, I got different rooms over here. The reason I have rooms are basically different categories, different people. For each room, I may have certain documents. Uh, so once they get into the room, they can get the access to all the rooms. And not only that, I always tell them that this is recorded session. This is what I like about it. Because it's a recorded session, it does protect me legally that I did discuss certain things so that nobody can come after me later on. But even more important, that sometimes my clients do have certain questions here and there, and they would definitely say that, okay. And I always tell them, can you go back to the session? Because each recorded sessions are all by default shared with the other party, whoever is there. Uh, n- Quite a few things I like about it is, transcripts. Uh, right now, okay, I'm speaking in English. Obviously, my English is second language, and many times my clients come from India and South Asia. So many times I do talk to them in local languages. So transcript may not be the best choice for me personally, but I have seen that most of the time having a transcript is going to give you an idea what we speak about it and when. You can also see like offer discussion, but when I do the discussion with it, so let me just see enter the room. So here basically well, that was a little wrong. I should have gone to the uh, memory. Okay, little slow. Maybe because it's a session in session. I don't know. Uh, uh, it is pretty slow from my side, I guess. I don't know why it's not showing up. So here is the best part, memory. Each session which I basically create, like with my virtual assistant in Philippines, I do record it. I do try to teach something sometimes, and sometimes they come back. I said, okay, that's not the right thing. Uh, One limitation which I personally feel is happening is that, and I do remember Savio said that, okay, that session that is on their roadmap. I would like to share both the screen, my screen as well as my client screen at the same time so that we can discuss it further. Uh, Now, looking forward to events, which I should have done it long back, but this is, I used to have one-on-one seminars with my buyers and the sellers. And this is the best way I can basically have 30, 40, 50 first-time home buyers where I can give my guidance. Uh, it does, again, this is the benefit of it. It does have the whiteboard session, YouTube. I do have certain videos. I do share lots of docs. This is where I told you that I can upload all the documents and I can share uh, with all the participant in the session at the same time. This is what I was playing with yesterday, and that's kind of a calendar. I just said, okay, because I am right now going to run some of the ads, and if they were to book my time, how would they do it? Exactly. So I have created my own calendar in which they can go and they can book my time, and I'll get an email. I mean, in terms of features, in fact, you just name it and it's there. And that's one of the things which I love about Session. It's I wouldn't call it simply a Zoom alternative. In fact, because this is lot more than Zoom. And I don't know. I can go on and on, but if you have any questions, you can shoot me. And let me stop sharing my screen so that, or maybe at the end of the session, there will be a Q&A, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
Uh,
Thanks so much, Prafu.
yeah, yeah.
Thanks so much.
So,
I
yeah.
think,
And I know again, I'll just touch the surface of session. It's one of those things. I tell my buyers that okay, it's whenever I'm talking to you, it's just basics. When we start working together, you will realize how important it is to work with a real estate agent. The same thing I can tell about sessions. What I shared in about 7, 8, 10 minutes is just a tip of the iceberg. When you start using the sessions, you will be. I mean, if you are in the business and if you have to have the meetings, online meetings are the way to go. This is perhaps the ultimate solution you have in sessions.
Oh,
So,
thank you so much.
all right.
Thanks for your kind words. All right,
Yeah.
over to you. All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming, and thank you for the sessions teams and for AppSumo to make it together. I would like to talk about me because I I was talking to Sabian earlier, and he said I'm a power user. I think I just try to take the most of my tools. So I'm Jorge. I'm from Mexico, and I deal with a lot of interesting things. I'm a consultant, and I also like to help the arts. So let me show you how I get to know sessions. First, I was a long time member of AppSumo, but I was never part of the sauce until sessions. I stumbled upon in my feed, and it's it was quite interesting. And I did some math, and the the membership paid for itself with the discount. So if you are trying to save some money, that's a good insider tip. I was, as always, and since COVID, looking for a better option to replace Zoom. I tried many options. First was Google Meet. It was so blurry. And Skype for Business didn't have all the tools I need. Microsoft Teams was too heavy, and well, some older computers like to overheat with that. And GoToMeeting became too expensive. And now Zoom is becoming too expensive. Right now, I think we are on the verge of another price increase, and I don't like that. So what do I do? Well, first, I'm sorry. Here. This is my go-to process when I'm trying to assess an AppSumo product. First, I like to understand what it's about, what it does, and what it doesn't do. Again, I wasn't looking for a Zoom killer. I was looking for an option that suit my needs. Then I do some stalking. I get to know what session is, what kind of product they have, what a of community, and then go to Crunchbase and see if they have some trust. And there I met Radu. I will not even try to say his last name because I'm certain I will butcher it. But it seems like a straightforward guy, and he did some interesting work with Trancaris, his other company, and that's a huge plus for me. Then I let it stew. I wait for a few days, see how the reviews are coming, how everything works around it. Then I sign up for a trial, the free account of sessions, and start testing some features. See if how it works. If I do that, if I try to use a tool for a different use, and see how long will it take me to get used to, and how long will it take the clients to get used to. And then the trial by fire, contact support, and see how they do. And of course, later on, they decide yes or no. It's that simple. It takes a few weeks at most, and for me, it's the best thing to do because it creates a lot of space to get rid of the FOMO. Now, here we are, no? Trying some features. We are getting some feedback from clients. I actually did stop using Zoom for a couple of weeks, and my client said it was great because it was really easy. It was really easy to log in. It was really easy to join. They didn't have to create an account. They didn't have to install a client. And we have some clients that are technically not that savvy. So it was a huge point for us. And that became one of the sale points to decide for Zoom, for sessions instead of Zoom. Then, of course, I will share with you my 3 use cases because I have seen that in the chat they are asking that, okay, how would you use that? First, as a consultant, I have sessions one-on-one or one or with a couple of people. For me, the most important part is time saving. The fact that I can create an agenda, the fact that I can create a room or some meetings with specific settings, it helps a lot. In a regular day, I can save almost an hour with that. And the other thing that made it quite well for me was the transcriptions. I just set it up and let it go. As Praful said, we are mainly speaking Spanish, which is not English. So the copilot sometimes works. I haven't been. I'm sorry. I have been getting good results. I like to say it has a 85, 95 accuracy in Spanish, so it works quite well. And then the use of the memory and the copilot to generate summaries and takeaways, it's great. I even had some clients that ask for the permission to return to the memory and review the summaries because it's also sometimes saving for them. I use another tool to generate some reports that's not part of Zoom, but coincidentally I purchased it the same day. It's called Strico, which is some AI tools that I really like a lot because make it all too easy. Now, this is probably the easiest use case and perhaps the most common one. So I will try to show you the next one. I do with a partner of mine a live show. Right now is a radio show that we're trying to transform and include a live show in video. And it has been really easy to set up. We are waiting for the broadcast feature and see how it works with that. But we had some challenges with the UI because we need to do some camera switching, and in Zoom we just have some keyword bindings, and here in sessions we don't have it yet, I hope. Also, it's the one case that got the bad end of the provider transition, and we had to switch back to Zoom on a couple of times. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I think that the team is getting there. Now we have some room for ideas. For example, we have some partners and with some assistants of the show that are members from Patreon. So we're thinking on inviting them to the session and see how it works, because the show is quite interactive. We like to do some stuff that includes receiving messages, and right now it's coming from WhatsApp, Slack, even in emails. So we're trying to streamline all that and to make good use to this tool. I was thinking to showing you a video of that, but I think because of time, I will skip it. I will share with you a link if you're interested. It's in Spanish, and it's quite experimental, so I understand it's not for everyone. And then probably the most interesting case right now for me is holistic treatments. I have a client that does therapy and does one-on-ones and group sessions. Right now, a couple of weeks ago, we started talking about a new business branch, a membership for paying customers. So we set up a landing page in WordPress and did a free webinar, a free event in sessions. It went great. Unfortunately, we didn't have the chance to record or have some evidence to share with you because the themes we were talking, but it was a lot of flexibility, and that was great because we can now use or think of with this tool on our tech stack with different options. And this is probably the highlight of all of this. Using Zoom, we didn't have as much higher conversion rate as we did with the eventing sessions. We had a 65% conversion rate. This was great. And let me tell you, we had some feedback that they purchased the membership because how it was handled, everything, how was the event super streamlined using sessions. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's some hard numbers for you. I like three things about sessions. First is, I'm sorry, it's quite versatile, it's quite flexible, it's improving all the time, and it works with improving my bottom line. So that's great. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That was awesome and very interesting. I think, yeah, then it's time for the Q&As. So, as mentioned earlier, we'll stick to questions for our guest speakers today because we'll soon have a town hall where you can ask session-specific questions. Okay. There's a thank you for you guys. I only see questions so far. Let me look. Sorry for the delay. I'm just. Okay. Do we have any questions for our speakers? Because I only see questions so far. Unless, Sovian, you want to answer some sessions questions. I don't know.
Yeah, if needed, bring them on until people type questions for our speakers. Yeah, we can take some.
Right. Well, I have one. What was the biggest improvement you saw since launch? Hora and Praful.
Let me go first. Right from day one, like it's improving day by day by day, and I, in fact, I can say that I learned a few things from George's session, saying that okay, uh, there are so many features in it that I just think more I learn about it, more I feel that hey, you know what, this is perhaps going to be one of the best product in coming years. People will regret for not having sessions bought at AppSumo. It's happened with me in some of the cases. Fortunately, when they come in for last call, I would just grab it. One thing, obviously, improvement in speed, the way it used to be communicated. For whatever reason, I don't know. Today, it seems to be lagging. Could be perhaps so many things going on with my own internet speed because my phone is also not working as well. But that is one thing I have seen huge improvement. Uh, then maybe I'll start talking about what I like about it. So I'll just hold on to that. But I definitely see a huge improvement and more. My gut feeling is it's going to be integrated with more and more uh, tools. Right now, it's with I think it started with just few of the Google tools, and now it's got Vimeo, it's got YouTube, and perhaps many more tools. And the reason is simple that all these tools, like I had certain other products, I wouldn't be able to run my YouTube video. So I do remember that was, I think, included later on, or maybe Jared, you would be the person who would tell me, right? But more and more I explore, I said, okay, and I do believe that it's going to be more integration coming up with this product, like uh, capturing a lead from here, things like that. So maybe I would say it definitely is going. Uh, it's improving day by day, and I think there are lots of features on the roadmap. So you should be able to learn from there too.
Thank you. That's true. By the way, if for everyone who has an account in the top right-hand corner, there's a help button, and if you click on that, you can view the roadmap, and you can also share your suggestions there and ideas. Did you want to add something, Ora, to that, or?
Yeah, probably the best two improvements I saw are the workspaces. That was an awesome feature. I'm still figuring out how to take advantage of it, but it's great. The other thing is the webhooks, the webhooks and API.
Yeah.
That's something quite powerful. And for me, because I mean what I shared earlier, I would like to try it again with the offers. Right now, the offers are a new feature that I think it's going to work quite well. So those are probably the biggest improvements.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. From Andy, which feature would you most like to see added to sessions?
Me, I'm
Both of you.
pretty vocal. In fact, already mentioned that I would like to have a screen share by not all the parties, but at least when it's a one-on-one, I would like to see that because obviously that's one feature I miss from Google Meet. Google Meet can share screens of both the participants. That's one thing because sometimes I have to discuss few things simultaneously with the client. They want to show me some of the listings, and I want to discuss my own subscription method. So if both of them are side by side, then I can just say that. So that's one feature I definitely am looking forward to, and I think I did put a suggestion also earlier, and this basically virtually makes it 100% transparent to both the sides. Uh, so, and as I said, I do remember I used to use Google Meet and we could share the screen together, but now I would love to see that feature a lot. I mean, sooner the better, I would say.
Okay, so side by side sharing.
Yeah.
All right. And Yore?
For me, some improvements to the phone interface because mobile right now doesn't get a lot of love. And when we are on meetings on one-on-one, we'd like to see each other. And right now we have the gallery. And if I do a highlight, I see me. I would like to see my client. So that would be great.
Mm.
Oh, that's available already, George. Like you
Oh yeah,
can
it is.
basically, yeah, it is. You can basically have the option on how you have the view of the screen, so you can have both of you side by side and things
Oh
like
no,
that.
no,
I
I
think
don't
there's
want
just
them.
one simple adjustment. Yeah.
I don't want them side by side. I mean, my client wants to see me, and I want to see my client. I don't want to see me, and
Oh,
I don't
I
want
get it.
to go
I get
into
it. I
hide
get
my
it.
view or do some highlighting.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
like video call. Yeah, I get it.
that's
Okay,
right.
okay.
Right. I'll answer this one. Are there any training videos available? Yes, we have a YouTube channel. And if someone from Team Sessions can please put it in the chat, that would be awesome. So yeah, we're adding normally a video a week. That's the aim. So always new videos being added. Okay. Just looking for non. All right, here's one. If there was one piece of advice you would give the developers based on the current state of the tool.
I think. I mean, it's probably the elephant in the room. Get the audio and video sync, and the latest latency, and maybe at least in my case, sometimes the video gets a bit choppy. I think that's I wouldn't give advice on a technical side, but as a customer, I would go for that, and probably get more pressure on the mobile UI.
Right. I know quarter one of this year, the focus is technical, or like getting good quality and stability. So we'll get there.
I mean, I'll just share my take on, one-on-one is this tool primarily is for, online meetings, mostly on the laptops or on a big screen. That's what I believe. And that's where basically, the biggest benefit comes up, uh, that you can see the expressions of your participant, my clients, so I can make out immediately. So I definitely am okay if there's a enhancement or improvement in the mobile version, but idea of sessions is more like an online session with your laptop and not with a small like this. Again, that's me. Uh, Having it online, good news is I am kind of little crazy about technology, so I do have, you know, full screen over here anyway. But that's just my take. I love being on the screen, like large screen like this versus the small screen. But I definitely like your suggestion, George, is that it's more like a video call. When I'm on with something, I want them to see my face and they should see my face. So maybe it has something to do with the way you basically portray. Like there's a gallery, and there are, I think there's an option in the product where you can select how you want to see your screen. Right now, it's only possible for the organizer or the presenter. You may put it other way around. Like, if you give that option even to the other party, that should work. Coming from technical background, I just think of solutions, how it can be done. So
Awesome, thank you. Uh, Jared, I think the next one is for you. Is there still a chance to upgrade from tiers 2 to 3?
actually, I mean, it's possible. Why not? Because, and obviously, what happens is if somebody, I mean, I'm crazy about AppSumo product. Okay, so I know quite a few things over here. It's easy. If you bought it in last 60 days, you can definitely go and simply say that upgrade it to T3. Okay, now if you're not, then maybe find out someone who can buy your T2 and you can get a T3 directly, you know.
Yeah,
But it is, yeah, it is possible.
you have to be a Plus member right now since
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
part of last call. So
yeah,
yeah, you can upgrade for another little over 24 hours or so.
yeah.
We're ending
Mhm.
ending tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
26 hours to be very precise.
Yep.
Um. All right. It looks like those were the non-technical questions. I'll take. Do you still offer one-on-one sessions for new users? Absolutely. Anyone welcome to book a demo with us. We'd be happy to help you, chat to you. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, guys, that we're not answering the technical questions tonight. I'm not a technical girl, Sabian.
I can see one of the question, how important are the webhooks?
Okay.
So I can say one simple thing. You have two systems. If you want one system to talk to another system, you need to have an API or webhook. So if you want to integrate sessions with something else, webhooks are going to be very, very, very important. Okay. Right now, they made it like uh, by default, you can see the calendar is a part of sessions product. Okay. That means it's a webhook, and it's connecting your calendar, and you can sync that calendar with Google Calendar. So it's already been implemented. But having a webhook to talk to the third party system is going to be very helpful. Like, I'm little crazy about technology. Although I'm in real estate, I would love to experiment all these things. So webhooks are very important. AI Copilot, I have not used it, uh, but I think everybody's talking about AI and AI, and trust me, uh, even for AI, you will need the human brain. Okay. Uh, and do I really need tier three, or can I get away with tier one? I would answer that. It depends on your use. I When I see a product like Sessions, I always go full stack for the very simple reason you never know when you will need more of the bandwidth for that product. Okay, I put you know I'll use a basic word which I used with my client, that this is not an expense, this is an investment, and that investment specifically is a lifetime deal. So that investment is going to go forever for you. Okay, trust me, with the advent of technology, we will be using video communications, video meetings, lot more than what we do now. Even now, we are doing a lot. Okay, but I know 100% that we will be using the online meetings lot more often. So this is an opportunity to invest full stack, because you never know, you might need more than 100 participants in your session. Who knows? Again, it depends on your business, but I would simply say, if you are going to spend right now extra $100 or whatever, I don't know what that tier is, and I don't know what the prices are, but that little extra investment in the product is going to come long way. Okay, and okay, nobody has told me from Sessions to say this. Okay, I disclosure.
Yeah, because someone said they hope you're on commission for this. So, but feel free to join our referral program, Praful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what? Anybody joins from this session, give me the referral. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
absolutely. Uh,
No.
someone
I
asked,
think I already have put in my request for referral program earlier also, but I don't know. Like it started just now, so I would definitely, as I said, and you got to help me out with the material on how I can promote this product, because as I said, uh, the very first step in referring anything is that you got to believe in it. Okay,
that's true.
because if you don't believe in it, you still refer, you're just doing it for money, and that is definitely not the primary goal for me. I would rather have sessions being de facto standard for uh, all online meetings, and the team is working very hard to bring in more and more features. You don't go wrong when you work for clients, when you, I mean, for sessions we are the clients, and when you basically keep on enhancing the product based on the suggestions, you are bound to grow. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Praful. And it's so true because I mean, things aren't perfect, but there's a lot of hard work
Yeah.
going on
Oh yeah, yeah.
at,
Technology is
behind
going
the scenes.
at a much faster rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone wanted to know where to get a one-on-one demo. So if someone from Team Sessions can please put the booking link in the chat, that would be awesome. Another little hack is to go onto the Sessions website in incognito mode, because then I believe it works that way, where you normally have the login button. There's a little button to book a demo, so you can just click there as well. I think, yeah, the rest seems quite technical, so maybe we should call it a night. We're out of time anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Carla,
I would
can I
like to
do?
say just one more thing, please.
oh, Savian, go.
Let me give the guys a good news. You asked about it. Our mobile apps are already available. You can find them on iOS and Android, but they are not officially launched. But please give them a spin. Find them, use them, see how they behave, play with them. We will launch them in a couple of days or maybe weeks. We are in the final testing phase. So, please give them a try. And thank you so much. Thank you, Jared, Carla, Jorge, Praful, all of you for joining us today. Thank you. Carla, back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I'll be sure to share the technical questions with our technical guys, so they are prepared in the next town hall with good answers for you. And the app, that's great. Thanks, Soyan. I didn't know that. I'm going to go download it now. All right. So have a good evening, everyone. And thank you so much, Jared, Praful, and Jorge for joining us, sharing your stories. It was really awesome to have you here. And
Thanks for
for
having us.
everyone joining from our community. Thank you. Okay. Bye, guys.